Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's AbyssSays here, and in this video I'm going to talk about the 5.6 Spiral Abyss. And I know that this video is late, so I'm not going to cover like all of the things. I'm just going to cover mostly the bottom half of this abyss, because I think that's the most difficult part of this 5.6 abyss. So I'm just gonna talk about the enemy's mechanics and what are the character combos you can use to deal with the bottom half of this abyss. So before we start, if you have any difficulties on clearing the abyss or theater, you can join my Discord down in the link in the description. I'm planning to do viewer abysses and viewer theaters. So yeah, if you're interested and you need help, you can join the Discord down below. I might stream before the end of this abyss session. So for this buff, elemental skill will do shockwave, like 3 elemental skill attacks will do a shockwave, and the top half buff and the bottom half buff, all of them are buffing the elemental skill, but the top half is cryo skill damage and the bottom half is dendro skill damage. So I'm just going to discuss about the top half first. So chamber 1, first wave, we have this Aramite Stone Enchanter. It will spawn a crocodile summon at the start, and when the summon is on the field, it will have increased resistance, and after you kill the crocodile, it will reduce a lot of HP and it will be paralyzed and reduce resistance. So for this enemy, kill the summon. And on the second half, we have this Veteran Wind Operative. It has 50% animal resistance, and also it has a mechanic that it applies a Bond of Life debuff on you, and when the debuff is applied, it does like a DOT damage, so you need to heal your character in order to make the debuff to go away. And also a little fact, when you attack it, when it's like in the shielded state, when they are shielded, you hit them, it will just teleport up to you. And on the second chamber, on the first 2 wave, we have this Dog Mech, and the second one we have 2 Geological Survey Mech, which are both like really straightforward enemies. And on the third wave, we have this PMA, Perpetual Mechanical Array. After its HP drops until 40%, or after some time has passed, it will enter a defensive state and spawn 4 Sentinel Mechs. 1 Sentinel Mech will be highlighted, and if you manage to kill the Sentinel, it will go paralyzed. So usually the PMA will have 70% physical resistance, but after it's paralyzed, all of its resistance will drop by 50%, so 20% physical resistance and negative 40% all elemental resistance. And on the third chamber, first wave, we have this Ruin Grader. It has 70% physical resistance, but still a straightforward enemy. And the second wave, we have this Wild Manifestation. So after it spawns, a couple of seconds later, it spawns out of field, generate an elemental shield, and if you're in the arena, it will constantly suck your energy. After some time, if you manage to break the elemental shield, it will return all energy to you and be paralyzed for some time. If not, it will convert the remaining percentage of the elemental shield to a 24 GU electro shield. If you have 50% left of the elemental shield, it will convert to 50% of the 24 GU electro shield, which is 12 GU electro shield. And also, if you are in the field, you will do 120% more damage to the elemental shield, and you will have an additional 60% damage increase when you are dealing Night Soul damage. So yeah, for the first half, it's like basically like a lot of teams could just like go through this, other than like maybe animal teams who have like a little bit trouble for this. This is like a really heavy physical resistance chamber. And yeah, physical resistance and electro resistance, 50% electro resistance. For the top half, it's like basically like nothing, but maybe you have trouble with this, but as long as you leave like a little bit HP left on the Ruin Grader and then you apply your buff, then yeah, I don't think that this would like be like a big trouble. So for the second half, on the first chamber, we have this Lava Dragon statue, which I think is the most difficult and the most annoying thing in this whole abyss. So the Lava Dragon statue has a really interesting mechanic. You can see under the bottom right of his HP bar, there's a circular energy bar. So on the first state, which is the Geo Human state, for every Pyro attack deal on it, it will fill up 6.6666666% of its Fury bar. If there's Pyro attack dealt, but it does not apply Pyro, like burning or overload, it will deal 1.687%, which is roughly about 1.7% of the Fury bar. And during the Geo Human state, it will have 150% all elemental resistance. And when the Geo Human state, the Fury bar is filled out, it will enter the second state, which is the Molten Dragon state. In the Molten Dragon state, all of its resistance will drop to 45% resistance, except for Pyro. It's still 150%. And during the Molten Dragon state, the Fury mechanic still applies, but the amount of percentage it fills up per Pyro application will just decrease by more than half. A Pyro attack will only fill up roughly about 3% of the Fury bar, and Pyro attacks that does not apply Pyro will only apply around 0.8%, which is like really less. But here there's another catch. If you apply Hydro and Pyro to this guy, it will deplete 20% of the Fury bar. So yeah, it's the best to not like apply any Hydro or Pyro when it's in the Molten Dragon state. If the Fury bar depletes completely, it will go back to the Dual Human state, and you will have to reapply all the Pyro in the Dual Human state and the Molten Dragon state. And if you manage to apply enough Pyro so that its Fury bar fills up in the Molten Dragon state, it goes into a paralyzed state, which all of the resistance will drop to 10%, which is like no resistance. So yeah, for this boss, just to apply a bunch of Pyro to it. And on the second chamber, there are two waves. Both of them are this Chernobylis Nemesis. The first one, it mimics the Animal Habitual Rogue, and the second one, it mimics the Ruin Guard. It has no resistance, and the only mechanic that it has is the Void Ward, which you need to deal elemental attacks to break it, and elemental reactions are included too. So for this Animal Habitual Rogue, you need 70 elemental attacks to break it, and on the second wave, the Ruin Guard, you will need to do 105 elemental damage to it. And also Night Soul attacks counts as 3 attacks, so yeah, it's like Night Soul characters are the best to break this. And like I said just now, elemental reaction also counts, so you can do like Taser or Burning to this. Those are like the reactions that break this shield like really quick. And also this shield is not a one-time shield, it will respawn back after some time if you did not manage to kill it. And on the third chamber, we have this Chernobylis Papilla, which it has the same mechanic with these two guys. It has the Void Ward, but the only catch for this is that this one is timed, so it will enter a charging state after it spawns. It will charge around 13 seconds. If in the 13 seconds you did not manage to break the Void Ward, it will do a massive explosion, and the attack basically insta-kills your character. So for this one, you need 72 elemental attacks or elemental reactions to break this. And the fact that one Night Soul attack counts as 3 attacks still remain. And after you break the shield, it will become paralyzed, and all of its resistance will drop to 0%. And after it recovers from its paralyzed state, it will only pick up half of its resistance before it was paralyzed. So at the start, it will have 70% all elemental resistance, and after it wakes up for the first time, it will only recover half of it, which is 35%. If you did not break the shield in time, it will remain on 70% all elemental resistance. And this taking half of the resistance mechanic still applies on the next time you break its shield. So like the second time you break it, it will only take half of the 35% all elemental resistance, which is about 17.5% all elemental resistance. So yeah, the bottom half has like a lot of mechanics. Like this one you need like a lot of Pyro, and this one you need like a lot of attacks to break the Void Ward. So if you are going for a one-take team, you will need like Pyro for this, and you will need like enough attacks for this. So of course, what teams or like team combos are like really good for this bottom half? Of course, first one is like Mavrika with Bennett especially, not with Ian-san, because with Ian-san, she doesn't have like enough Pyro herself. If you have a C6 Bennett, would be a better choice. You can just do like a Mavrika E and then do Bennett's burst and E on field. And with Bennett C6, his normal attack will do Pyro damage. And for these two, Mavrika deals Night Soul damage, so yeah, it won't be a problem for her. And the second one is Kinich, which by this buff, you might know, like this one's like basically for Kinich. And Kinich does burning, and he can apply burning fast enough to fill up this Fury bar. If you do not have the skill and you are not like really confident that you can apply burning like really fast, you can bring Xiangling and Bennett in the team, which is the next duo I'll talk about later. And also Kinich is a net-end character, which helps him break the shield, and also he's dealing burning, so it's like speeds up his shield breaking speed. And speaking of burning teams, there are others, like if you don't have Kinich, you can just bring Emily. And like I said just now, burning is like really good for this Lava Dragon statue, and also it breaks these shields like really fast. So yeah, like just now, if you're not confident that it applies enough Pyro, you can just bring Xiangling and Bennett and Emily. And on the fourth slot, maybe like Baiju or Nahida. But if you don't have burning teams, can you do burning? Yes, you can use Nahida Hyper Bloom, like Nahida Xingqiu Cookie. And on the fourth slot, you can bring another Pyro character like Bennett. You can just Q and on-field E, and you can do normal attacks if you have his C6. And Hyper Bloom is also a really good team and reaction for this shield, as they apply a lot of elemental attacks and they do like a lot of elemental reactions. So yeah, it's like really good for breaking this shield. But on the fourth slot, there's actually quite a massive amount of like choices you can have, like I said just now, Bennett. And you can also do Xiangling, but one of the characters that I especially recommend is the Pyro Traveler. And the Pyro Traveler can apply quite enough Pyro for this Lava Dragon statue. And also he's a Netland character, and you can just do burning and doing Night Soul attacks at the same time. If you manage to raise the Traveler up to C6, which I don't think it's C6, I think it's C12, because the C6 is already given in the Icon Quest. So you have another additional 6 more constellation, I'll just call it C12. If you have the Traveler C12, when the Pyro Traveler uses his skill, the Traveler enters the Night Soul state, and the Traveler will do Pyro infused attacks with his normal attacks or charge attacks or any. If you are not confident, if you did not manage to like apply enough Pyro or break the shield in time, and if you don't have his C12, I recommend you to get his C12. So yeah, Hyperbloom team with Pyro Traveler is like a really good one. I've done a run with this team, and you can just go check it out. But if you have Hyperbloom teams on the top half, what can you do? Like you don't have burning teams or anything. There's actually 2 characters that I keep saying that is like really effective for this shield breaking, and also they are like also really good for this Lava Dragon statue. Which the first one is Tainari. So for Tainari, of course, for this you would need a almost mono Pyro team, like at least Bennett, and also a Pyro character that constantly applies Pyro like Arlecchino, Vika, or Xiangling. And you can just like pull off Tainari burning for a little bit as the 4th slot. And also for this shield breaking, like Tainari is like really good. I have a run covering like this team, like the Tainari Mono Pyro. If you are interested on learning that team, you can just look it up in my channel. And also another character is Venti. As Venti's burst deals a lot of attacks and elemental reaction and aura taxes. So basically his burst could do like at least 40 to 50 elemental attacks, which is like really massive. And it gives you like enough time to break this shield like really quick. And also with Sur is like also one of the attacks that does Pyro attacks but does not apply Pyro. But with the amount of attack that Venti's burst is doing, it's enough to fill up this Lava Dragon statue's Fury bar. So Venti in Pyro teams is like really good for this bottom half. And also Bennett and Xiangling, like I said, in the burning teams, Bennett and Xiangling is like really good for this Lava Dragon statue. She applies a lot of Pyro attacks when you are like staying close with the boss, and her burst like deals like a lot of Pyro application. So yeah, Bennett, Xiangling, and then you can just like Bennett EQ and Xiangling Q, Xiangling E for Guoba for like those extra Pyro attacks, and you can just like Bennett on field E and normal attack with his C6. But only relying Bennett and Xiangling won't be a really good combo to break these shields. So you would need a reaction heavy team like Rider National. Rider National is like really difficult to break this shield, but it's like possible. I've done a run with Rider National on the bottom half. If you're interested, you can just go and have a look. And another one is Child International. Child International, I'm not really sure because I don't have Child, I can't really try it. But for my information, Child International is like capable of breaking the shield in time. So yeah, if you are planning to bring like Bennett, Xiangling, the teams you can go is like Child International or Rider National. Just to make sure you don't use Xingqiu or Child, and it just like depletes 20% of the Fury bar, which is not something you want. And also another team I think it's viable is Chaska's team, but you would need C2 to do it, because for lower constellation Chaska you would need 3 different elements to have like the full elemental bullets. Aside from Pyro and Electro, which is safe for this Lava Dragon statue, the other teammate might be a Pyro or Pyro, which is something you won't want. As I said just now, this guy doesn't like Cryo or Hydro, so you might need a C2 for a duplicate element, so you can just bring 2 Pyros for this Lava Dragon statue. And also you can just bring Bennett and Xiangling, which speeds up the energy filling process. C2 Chaska, actually recommended, but below than C2, not really recommended. And if you ask me, can you brute force like Novelet Hyper Carry or like Ayaka with Escoffier? I've seen people done that, it's actually possible. But if you're not really a really sweat player or player with like really high cons, you're not a whale, I don't recommend you to try this, because without those constellations and those builds, it's like practically impossible. So yeah, I think that's all for this Abyss. If you find this guide useful, please leave a like and subscribe. I gladly appreciate it. And also, as a reminder again, if you have trouble with your Spiral Abyss and Imaginarium Tutor, you can join the Discord in the description down below. I will try to do Viewer Abyss and Viewer Tutors in the future. If you have trouble or you need help, you can join the Discord down below. And that's all for me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!